Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers! Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5, babe.
And doing a while too.
All right, I'm going to be the one guy who doesn't do the Scaramouche voice because I can't do it that well, but how are we all doing, folks? We are here to talk about Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 6. Another fantastic episode, although arguably probably the closest thing we've had to a Samurai Jack clip show without actually being a clip show. So we'll get into all that. We'll get into the Scaramouche of it all. We'll get into the great last couple minutes of the episode and how I totally called it, and a whole bunch more. So let's set up the focus of the episode, kind of the format of it, which, as you guys kind of informed me, since like we've established, I've picked and choose certain episodes of Samurai Jack to watch. I certainly have watched the Scotsman episodes for one. I've watched episodes here and there. I got to tell you guys, like this episode, I was pretty lost. Like I kind of figured that all these people were from past episodes, but I kind of went along for the ride a little bit. I wasn't really sure of the context behind it, so we'll have Dragon and Jacob here fill in the blanks for me along the way. But Dragon or Jacob, do you want to set up kind of the format of how we're dealing with this episode from Ashi's point of view?
So I love how, so this episode essentially is, we pick up where the last one left off, not like the minute after, but okay, as time has passed and Ashi, she's on the path to find Jack, and along the way she's running into characters that fun fan kind of pulls of like, hey, remember these guys from these memorable episodes? And we're seeing 50 years later how they've been affected by their encounters with Jack, and what this is doing is over time Ashi is this feeds into, again, kind of the back to basics progression idea we've been flirting with this season of, okay, we're getting Jack back on track, and we're doing it through Ashi kind of learning about Jack and getting firmly more on his side, and more, she's more behind the samurai figure that, she's been taught to hate since birth, than she ever expected to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's firmly on Jack's side by the end of this episode. It's kind of like her learning about Jack and kind of looking up, admiring him.
Yeah, and I gotta say, guys, my high praise of Ashi from episode 5 has definitely not wavered. I am absolutely in love with the character development that they've done on this character throughout these first 6 episodes, and that I'm sure they'll continue to do going forward. I think it's an absolutely spectacular personal story that they've laid on this. What we kind of all assumed in episode 1 and 2 was going to be the main villain of the story is now like the most gosh darn sympathetic, wow. Like I said, I'm stunned by how much they've done a 180 on this character, and just it's fantastic work. It's fantastic character development.
It's Ashi is one of the most impressive things about this new season. Absolutely, you're right about that. I will say this, that with the structure. So again, I praise what I loved about overall I love the idea. I love what we're doing here. I love kind of the premise of the episode. That's all nice and well and good. However, I will say this: I do have issues with this episode where I had no issues with any of the other ones. I think the stories, and like all the individual kind of tales, which we'll break down in a moment. I think the stories are great. And they're I love how they're pulled and recreated from previous episodes. Like, again, basically they're reanimated, and I'll get into specifics momentarily. But
okay, hold on. When you say reanimated, this isn't like a situation like the Robin Hood dance sequence, right?
No. I mean, like they're recreating
considering the original series was like done in like traditional hand drawn. They recreated a lot of the scenes in widescreen and in computer animation.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like, because when you say reanimated, that's like the shit show that I go to is the Robin Hood sequence, the Frankenstein's monster of Disney animation. So I'm glad to hear it's not that.
That's basically they've just basically reanimated.
Well, no, that's reused animation. Tiki. This is just Reed's animated again.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, just wanted to clarify.
Basically, computer widescreen. New animation style.
Adapting into the new style. That's why you'll see various minute differences between
Sure.
this version of
and of course, I assume that some of these characters look different than they did. I mean, I don't really know, like, because these are all creatures, so this is something you guys will have to fill me in on. But
Yeah, well, they remain tremendously faithful to the style. So basically, again, it's only
I'm just saying in terms of how these characters have aged over the past 50 years.
I think the colors are slightly more muted.
Okay, I mean, and obviously we'll have characters like Da Samurai who age in a very logical kind of Scotsman style way.
Because you gotta remember, a lot of our characters, short of Da Samurai, one of those rare human characters that Jack kind of comes across. Of course, the rest of them are kind of like they can age like aliens age, which
kind
is
of like
very,
Chewbacca age.
Exactly, that is the perfect example. It's like rarely will they age, and if anything, maybe a little bit of gray. Like again, our guys here look pretty much the same, only they get really cool kind of cloaks now.
I still remember before we saw.
I think basically the only major dramatic change that the colors overall might be a little bit more faded than they were before.
Yeah.
I still remember before we saw the final design of Chewbacca from Force Awakens, I was totally picturing him like having these like big gray like streaks across his fur.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe they were going to do that too. That was cool.
Anyways,
let's see. So again, my issue. So again, while I do appreciate everything they're doing, I think like this, I think the stories and everything are fine. I think the integration is a little sloppy and how we're kind of doing this, and that's kind of a problem for me. Is that we're a little repetitive and random, like how she comes across these guys, and like how they basically kind of repeats itself. It's like okay, she bumps. First and foremost, I really would have loved a brief scene. Like again, just a very brief scene. You don't have to do anything. Don't even dialogue. Just like okay, she boards this thing, and then we see two mysterious figures following her.
It's funny that you mentioned it because I kind of really like the fact that we start this episode like right in the middle of this like adventure that she's gotten herself into. Like she's gotten herself into trouble already, and we're kind of jumping into it.
Yeah, and I don't mind like kind of starting in the middle of something, but still, I mean, I would have liked just again. I'm not talking like a whole I'm talking about like a minute before we start the episode. Okay, well, she's walking on the thing. Then okay, two people are looking into her.
Right.
It just kind of shows like some pacing issues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Overall, in the episode, I have that's my minor issue. Of the episode, I have some pacing and some randomness here and there. Basically, so after Ashi, in terms of plot, where Ashi goes in the episode to get to each kind of story in the episode, she jumps off here after she learns from the conductor or the monitor of the aircraft.
Do you guys want to talk about these creatures at all before we?
Well, I was going to get to them after I get to.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real quick. Basically, she learns. Okay, the samurai was around. Oh yes, ma'am. The samurai you're asking for. He got off here, and then she jumps off. And okay, that's logically okay. Well, now,
wait, you're supposed to get off when we land.
That was
basically the opposite of the whole no ticket scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a pass. No. But yeah, basically that's like the only indication of okay, she's trying to kind of follow where Jack went, but the only trail she has is from there to the next story, and everything else after that is like completely just okay. She's just kind of wandering around. There's no trail of Jack anywhere. We have no indication of she's following a trail. She's randomly coming across these characters. I mean, it's really lucky for the episode that all these.
No, I agree. Yeah, there was kind of an element of coincidence there that you had to sort of bypass. You know what I mean?
It's like sometimes, like for Jack, these episodes took like sometimes like multiple episodes apart. Like implied he traveled many miles.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember in the previous episode, he was like going off to his death, and just like suddenly she just comes across all these people by happenstance.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's my main issue of the episode. That our pacing and our kind of.
Now let me address that, Dragon. Though let me address that as someone who's an outsider, right? As someone who's just a fan who might need to get caught up on some of this. Where I like the show overall, I just haven't had the time to fully explore it yet. And I honestly think this episode did a really good job. I'll agree with you that I will say by a very thin margin, because of course we have a hard time ranking these episodes. I will say by a very thin margin, this is probably the least impactful episode of the season. I will say that just because, like you said, it does kind of fall into a formula. It gets a little bit repetitive. Having said that, I think some of the imagery in this episode, and I think they did pick a good group of stories and a good group of characters to explore just for me. Like, I think we got a broad range of spectrums. We got a broad range of Samurai Jack, saving these people in different ways and influencing them in different ways. And I think what's great about the episode is that you're really for people like me specifically, not hardcore fans of the show like Jacob and Dragon here, but
you're putting Ashi's shoes.
yeah, like for my, like, Ashi is like literally like my exact specific type of like point of view character.
I think it's not more like the fact that they actually did it; it's just more like how they did it.
Exactly. Again, I'm just speaking objectively. Again, that's all fine and good. I have no issues with like Ashi's like that. That's your point. Your point's absolutely valid. That's fine. That's working for the episode, especially for anyone just kind of not super familiar with all these characters. Like technically, they didn't even have to use familiar characters, but the fact that they used familiar characters and they recapped it well enough plays well on all levels. My issue is still it doesn't really solve my problem of okay, well, she's randomly wandering around.
No, I absolutely hear you, but like I said, like I don't have that sort of context that you guys have of like all the geography she traveled, and so I guess it just.
I mean, it's not even geography; it's just like
It's there's no rule book about it. It's just like okay, well, just like from just looking at the.
Like for example, in one episode, Samurai, for episode Jack is in like an Irish area. The next episode, he's in Egypt.
Sure.
So it's like geography wasn't really even a major.
Geography is just kind of thrown out the window with Samurai Jack. It's like we have all locations of all kinds. They're like maybe it's like traveling. It's like kind of like a road trip. Each episode.
Like for example, I've noticed that a lot of the jerks in this episode and also in the preview for the next episode are specifically like have Cockney accents. Like the Astro dog has a Cockney accent, and then the guy like, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm going to kill the samurai."
That's Tartakovsky pulling from kind of the Star Wars rule of we shoot in London, so of course we have British actors as our bad guys. That's kind of
right.
Kind of pulling from the Star Wars kind of Lucasfilm kind of shoot.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, all I'm trying to say, I totally get what you guys are saying about the weak points of the episode. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, personally for me, it doesn't really detract from the episode that much. But I'm just saying, it's just like more how.
Like, I can still see the pacing problems and the repetition that Dragon's talking about. Having said that, I do kind of feel like this was of benefit for me to go through this experience, just like Ashi did. And I think they did do a good job of kind of, putting the viewer in a Ashi point of view. You know what I mean?
So, so let's talk about let's break down our characters. Let's start with the guys we have on screen. So the Woolies, Tiki. So what I did after watching this episode, just to make sure I wasn't going crazy, like I know these guys. I looked into it, made sure these are existing characters. That's the thing, because bear in mind, 50 years later, Samurai Jack. You got to wonder if any of these characters are going to be like from events in between,
or it could be like Star Wars, where they're just like the same race.
Yeah, exactly. So you got it's something to be sure of.
Like
so
literally in Rogue One, we see don't we see like what is it, like one of the cave creatures from Hoth as part of their crew? I'm blanking on the name. I'm blanking on the name.
You're thinking of the Wampa, right?
The Wampa, yes, we see a Wampa as part of the rebellion.
I remember. Yeah, I remember there was a Wampa in Rogue One.
Yeah,
part of the rebellion or not, but there was a Wampa.
I'm pretty sure he was part of the rebellion. He was like a red shirt character in the rebellion that just happened to be a Wampa.
Yeah. So, wonder if he just gets really warm because he's out of like the cold climate.
No, I think it's just a race. I think Wampa is just an alien species. But anyways.
Anyway, so what I did was I rewatched the episode, just kind of like bear in mind, like a few of our cameos. I just kind of watched the essential clips of okay, Jack going up against them. For the rest, I did watch the episodes all the way through, like the Woolies episode, which was really good. These were all really good episodes, and I honestly some of them I've forgotten about because it's been a while. But the minute I watched a few minutes, like okay, it all came back. I was like, okay, that's amazing. So the Woolies was a really impactful episode too. It was a really nice one because basically they're these as you see they recreate it, but what they do, because if they can get away with a lot more with the new rating, they make it a little bit more brutal, so they tailor it towards kind of the storytelling they're doing. So what you see in the Woolies story is they were subjugated by these little diminutive Tom Kenny sounding blue guys.
Right.
And basically what they did is like the Wooly characters, these awesome looking characters, kind of these these Jim Henson inspired design wise characters.
I could totally see that. They have a Sweetums look to them almost in the lips. Yeah.
And they're really cool. Basically these guys are like intelligent architectural kind of beings, and they're really futuristic. I'm sorry, JV, did you want to recap?
I just think they kind of also look like they could fit within a Dark Crystal, but Sweetums.
Oh, I can see that too. Yeah.
But Sweetums, but technically it does kind of look a lot like Sweetums.
Yeah. And essentially these guys were like an architectural race, and they're really providing. Basically, these little diminutive guys came on. They just kind of treated them like they looked, and
Uh-huh.
basically they're like a whole race of bullies, like a whole bunch of little guys saying, "I got your ugly monsters," and they kind of zapped them with prods and stuff, and made them into like horses and animals and stuff. And then Jack came along, and he thought he was like they I guess he saved one of the little guys. I forgot what happened in that part, but the point is he's like they invite him to their camp, and then he just sees, okay, it seems like they're horses or stuff, like elephant scale, manual labor animals.
Right,
That's
right.
Again, they're zapped to stay in order. And basically, if like one of them's in a stable and Jack gives it an apple, and then it says, "Help me," and then Jack's like, "Oh my god!" and he goes to it and he helps
Oh,
it out.
man.
It's really, and then Jack he befriends him. It's really sweet, really awesome. He can't and basically what you see in the flashback here is kind of the climax of the episode. Where Jack's like beating the crap out of these little guys because they just treated these lovely, sweet creatures so horribly. And then they're very thankful to Jack, and that's why we will not let you hurt the samurai. They're very friendly towards us.
That's awesome.
Jack freed them, and again, it's really touching. It's really nice.
It seems like this is definitely, and we've touched on this before, kind of like the circular nature of Samurai Jack stories, where a lot of the stories revolve around, it's kind of like Jack being the man with no name, or the Mad Max archetype.
Kind of our Shane kind of character.
Right, where he'll kind of like wander into a situation and then be sort of the hero that, like no one asked him to save the day, but he just does it out of a sense of moral obligation.
What I really love about each of these stories is that they showcase like one element of Jack's of kind of like a life lesson we get from the original Samurai Jack series. Like in this, like for example, the Woolly's tale represents humanity. It's Jack showing compassion to someone. Jack showing people, don't be bullied.
Uh-huh.
Then with the next one we have with the three blind archers. So that's what these guys are. So I'll explain this. So basically, the three blind archers.
Say this is a wonderful composition. Like I would love like a matte painting of this in my room.
Yeah. What's really cool about this too, so we see this great structure of Jack, and it's kind of moss cover and everything. The idea is like, these guys, they really respect the heck out of Jack, and the reason they do, as we see in the well constructed flashback. Again, they did shot for shot because the Three Blind Archers episode was really cool, and that was like a really cool action like really great boarded episode where basically Jack blindfolded himself because they were blind, and they basically turned like these black jackaled characters like white blind man glasses on. It was really cool looking. They're blind.
Basically, Jack blindfolded himself so he wouldn't
even playing field.
Oh wow, that's great.
And like they're on this giant like kind of tower like spire. So basically they have the high ground, which is the worst place to go up against an archer. And Jack kind of goes up the building blind. And basically there's the bit you see in the episode, Tiki, is the climax where all three of them shoot their arrows at once, and Jack ducks beneath it. The arrows hit each other. Then they're back to normal. Then what Jack does is they were, as the way it goes, Tiki, as it's kind of mentioned here, is that Jack, he could have gone home with the portal they were guarding. These guys were guarding at the time a wishing well, which could have done anything for Jack. It was like this dark mass and stuff, and they warned him, well, listen, by all means, you earn your wishing well, because they're guards to the wishing well. But if you do, it comes with a cost. We wish to be the most powerful warriors ever, and then we returned like these black jackal-like guardian things, and we've been forced to guard. It comes with a price. And then Jack, he in retaliation, he sticks the magic sword in the thing and destroys it, for what it's done to these guys, and just so it doesn't do it to anyone else. He sacrificed his way home. That's what this story is about. Sacrifice, and they thought it was so admirable what Jack did. They built the statue and everything. They wasn't in the episode of the statue. I'm just saying it's an extrapolation. So
of course,
they really that part they could have explained in this episode, because it just looked like he destroyed it for basically no reason almost.
Well, no, they explained it here. They just simplified it. They didn't have a whole they warned him what it did. They say essentially he sacrificed his way home, and
I got the basic gist that that Jack sacrificed something. I didn't know.
I get that, but they didn't explain like the whole curse comes at a price thing.
Well, they mentioned Aku cursed him. That's essentially what Aku's the reason for the whale. So it's
they can't go into every minor detail either.
Exactly, and I think that was a smart move on their part, just kind of summarize what the episode was without making up stuff.
If they did that, this episode would be like 3 episodes.
Yeah, God knows with only 10 episodes in this final season, we don't want that. We don't want 3 episodes of clip show.
And again, you can... and with the episode and the way they reanimated things, you can tell it's different because Jack has like a different tint to his skin, like the sash on his costume's a gray when it's supposed to be white, and again like the certain shots, like they mimic him as humanly as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, just another thing with this composition we're looking at, I think it's a good sort of if you were to make a poster of this episode and the journey that Ashi goes on, I think this one image would be a good mission statement for the whole thing.
It absolutely summarizes what Ashi's learning in the episode. She's learning about Jack's influence, which again, you build a monument to someone who deserves it. So
yeah, really good stuff.
All right, so then we have Ashi.
Okay, I have a lot to say about this, just as someone who has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Well, I think we've told you about the rave was like a huge deal with Samurai Jack.
I watched the rave episode and I still don't know what this is.
Oh man. Okay, the only reason I really like this is that I might not go to raves, guys, but I have been to a lot of concerts, and this is totally like in the style of the latest concert I've been to the point where the latest concert I've been to, I kid you not, featured stage diving and dancing astronauts. So when I saw the dancing astronaut in this concert, I was like, yeah, it's Starfucker. Haha. That's literally the band I went to go see was Starfucker. But anyways, I don't know. I really enjoy this this portion of the episode just because I feel like it expresses what Samurai Jack meant to everyone in a totally visual way without any sort of exposition.
Exactly, because we kind of got that with the other two. This one's kind of doing it in a different way.
And I honestly think out of all the characters she comes across, this one might be the most effective for me. Like I said, as someone who's not really familiar with this characters, I think this is just such a great summation of like Jack's influence on people, and I liked it a lot. I really did.
The fact that they even made like a hand symbol out of it.
Right, the hand symbol. One of the things I thought was kind of impressive was the reveal of the design of the DJ, how she's a much older woman than you might expect to be the DJ.
That's cool.
That's actually the little girl he saved in the very first.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into that then, because I'm very curious about the world building surrounding this this rave culture. It seems like Zion.
One of the. So here's the thing.
It seems like Zion from the Matrix.
Can I try explaining this one, Dragon?
Yeah, you've seen. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one. You go.
I watched it during the live stream that they had. Like, what happened was like this father came to Samurai Jack's help, or Jack came to him and he asked Samurai Jack for help. It was like saying his daughter, who was like a teenager around that time, was like being mind controlled by like a musical mind controlled DJ sent by Aku.
Okay.
Who listened to his music and was like fell under his control. So and was at a giant rave, but with a bunch of other musically controlled kids. So naturally, Jack went to save them. That's essentially how the story goes. Like, and yes, in that episode, you even do see a Samurai Jack in rave clothes and dancing.
And that's kind of a famous image. This episode was a big one at the time for Jack in that rave costume, and everyone remembered it because Jack was like various times in the series, Jack could be kind of in like different garb because like
I do remember that kind of
One of my favorites of Jack's of Jack's different outfits. I loved it when he was dressed like an old gangster. I love that one. He's like had a hat and a suit and he had a sword. That was so cool. But
Samurai mob.
Yeah, the mob samurai. That was really fun. Robotic mobsters.
So yeah, that's the basic of the original rave episode, and that DJ up there, that was the girl that he saved.
I really like that detail now. That's so cool. I'll have to. That out of all these episodes, that is. I mean, I'll definitely check out all of them. Except the Wooly one also sounds really cool, but I'm really curious to check out this rave episode.
And it's always nice to see kind of Ashi come out of her shell in the scene because the symbol like she's dancing. And by the way, a little fun Easter egg: the dance that they do is the dance that Jack kind of taught. Basically, it's Jack fighting in the episode. And they kind of adapted it as a dance, and that's kind of what Ashi does along with him. She's a fast learner. That's what she's.
Oh man,
dancing Jack's
like
dance.
I said, as someone who I'm going into this basically completely blind, I love this scene just because it's all visual. It's no exposition. It's just like even though I've never seen these people before and I don't know what the hell's going on, I get the message that they're trying to get across. Yeah.
And again, this in terms of like what the takeaway from this one is, it's that it's kind of Jack is a kind of a symbol of as a status thing. Is like
sure.
Even amongst the youth of this nation, this world.
Yeah. So then this one, actually, the samurai.
I'm just going to call this like it is. It's totally like Luke Cage the samurai.
It's
It's more like Disco Samurai.
Well,
I'm saying it's like in terms of characterization, not at all, but in terms of like kind of funkadelic psychic as seven kind of funkadelic 70s
okay,
stuff.
well, characterization, I'm talking about the Luke Cage that Quentin Tarantino wants to make a movie out of.
Oh,
all
right, yes, that's
All right.
definitely yeah. Yeah, basically, it's MC Hammer as a samurai. It's MC Hammer as a 70s samurai.
Sweet
God.
Christmas Samurai.
And of course, I love how when we get to the bar, this guy is just like this crotchety, like Samuel Jackson type character.
That's definitely a Tarantino influence.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So real quick, so I rewatched this one. This one I really haven't watched in a long time because season 4 of Samurai Jack. I'm not going to say, believe me, I got to rewatch I got to rewatch all of Samurai Jack, as we all really should. It's really good. Season 4 is the one. It's like it's getting towards the end. The end without an ending, famously. But I think all the really super memorable ones everyone talks about are in the first 3 seasons. 4 is good episodes. Just again, I think these are the ones that kind of slipped under the radar. And Dust Samurai was one of them, except he was a very memorable character. I'm saying people probably remember Dust Samurai.
Like this, yeah, this guy seems like he'd be like super memorable.
Basically, I think what they were trying to do.
Sorry.
I think what they were trying to do with the Samurai was they were trying to kind of recapture kind of the Scotsman vibe. Like we have these memorable characters.
Sure.
And now what was really cool in this episode, I recommend everyone check this out because this one's one I had never really revisited until I had an excuse here. And this is great. The whole story is like a classic. It's kind of it's a classic story. Basically, it's a lesson in humility. This guy comes around, Jack. He basically walks into a bar, the same bar that is in this episode, and he's just getting like hot water, and he's drinking it. Basically, this guy comes in, he's really braggy, really bad, like, "Hey, I'm the samurai."
Wait. Now that you're describing it, I'm pretty sure I've seen this one. This is definitely one of the ones I've seen. I haven't seen it in the wild, but I definitely remember the setup of Jack in the bar and the hot water and everything. Yeah,
the samurai, basically, he wants to cheat on Samurai Jack because there can only be one samurai, and it's very much kind of like a western.
It's like
a western meets eastern in a way. It's kind of cool. It's kind of western. It's like the classic western play. There's only room. It's only room enough in this town for one of us. Yeah, and it's a great lesson. Basically, Jack kind of schools him without even raising a blade. He takes he takes his blade, which intimidates the samurai for a moment. He just like slices some bamboo and basically says, "You have to earn the right to face me." And then he's basically schooling by smashing this bamboo over his head again and again.
Oh God!
And the samurai again, the samurai is voiced wonderfully by David Allen Greer in the original. And he's still wonderfully voiced by Keegan Michael by a different actor,
Keegan Michael Key.
Of course, Tika and I have gone on and on about how we love the pairing of these 2 young lads, Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele just knocked it out of the park with Get Out. I'm telling you, fantastic film. Anyways,
very, very talented lads, we must say. So, he does a great job too, kind of capturing the samurai and especially the visuals here when we see the young samurai versus the old. The center point is it's a lesson in humility where Jack kind of teaches him to humble himself because it's really really fun. And I was really touched by his story, even though it had. I agree with the rest of the bar page. It had no bearing on what they were talking about. I especially on the rewatch, it was really touching that they're in the same bar they met.
I hear you. I was kind of the same way. I was like, well, yeah, that doesn't really have the same sort of impact as other stories that Ashi's been told, but it's a good personal story, I think, and I think maybe that's the point.
And I think it's also, I'm reaching here a little. I don't think I'm reaching too much, though. I think it's also another example of a path Jack could have taken, because after Jack schooled him, he hung up the samurai blade, he worked in the bar. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like Jack, after he lost his sword, he could have just kind of gone on living, but he just kind of kept torturing himself over having failed at his purpose.
Sure.
I think that actually is a good point.
Yeah. So of course, this was kind of our cantina-esque location, populated by not just scum and villainy, but populated by Pai Pai.
Oh my God,
Pai Pai,
Pai Pai.
Not just Pai Pai, Robo Pai.
I am what I am,
and I eat my spinach oil.
Oh God.
What about olive oil?
Oh man.
Anyway, so So by the way, so of course this is a fun little nod to Genndy Tartakovsky has a huge love for Pai Pai, especially this can be seen that he did an animated test. He's hoping to do a Pai Pai movie, which has either been shelved or taken away from him.
It's been both. It's taken away from him and shelved.
But I don't know how available it is, but people can check out at least a clip of it, of the test animation he did with for an animated Pai Pai film, kind of in the style of like Hotel Transylvania. I think Sony
It would have been amazing, and I am so discouraged that it's not a thing anymore.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this came back, so let's not rule out anything with Tartakovsky.
He's like developing his own project there, so who knows? Like an original idea there, so who knows?
Who knows? So again, the bar was a really fun location. I just love the idea of all these like people who, all these. Again, I don't think the rest of them were in Samurai Jack. However, some characters look familiar, like the guy in the Roman helmet. Go back one.
I actually.
Never mind.
I think he looked like one of the Spartans from the Spartan episode.
Yeah, it could be one of those guys. That's kind of what he. I'm saying some of them look familiar, but I can't verify because in a lot of episodes, folks, at least 40 to 50 episodes.
That was like 52 or something.
Right, 52. At least 52 episodes, so it's kind of hard to. It's fine too. Just forget that. Anyway, so I love the idea. They all have like their story of like, oh, the samurai did this horrible thing to me. Like poked the one guy. I can't go to the bathroom. I need a bag. I got a bathroom in a bag.
and then the guy's held together by band-aids.
I love the guy held together by band-aids. That was just so ridiculous.
And he's like, really, dude?
Oh god, that's funny.
Okay, guys, so we're about to get to the dessert of the episode, which is, of course, the return of Scaramouche, babe.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about Ashi a little bit.
I was going to build to that, Dragon, but before,
I'm terribly sorry.
Before we get to the dessert of that episode, we have to eat our vegetables, folks, and oh god, I hate to even bring this up. I hate to even. Yeah, this is rough, guys. This is rough.
So as fun as this episode is, we have two really dark portions.
Oh man,
this
let's
is the
talk through this
portion.
as quickly as possible, so we don't have to keep looking at it.
Okay, so as she learns of Jack's heroics, again through the episode, she learns of Jack's heroics. You know, she's following a positive icon opposed to the negative icon, which has been Aku, which she's been raised to believe. And of course, we got to recap that in some way each episode. And this way, we do it in the most horrific way. I got to tell you,
I think this takes the cake. I think this is more disturbing than Jack pulling the blade out. I really do.
I would.
Because at least Jack putting the start isn't child torture.
Exactly.
Yeah,
oh man, I mean, look, if this was like a full-grown woman being thrown into this pit, it'd still be disturbing. But yeah, you're right. Just the fact that it's
also the fact that you can't see her face, see the color of her face, and the fact that the contrast of red and black.
Oh man. Now look, if we want to talk about the bizarre controversy over Ashi swimming in the nude and whatnot, I don't even think that's worth getting into, although Dragon apparently has told me that the internet blew up on it.
Yeah, I just literally when I was just looking to watch the episode, this thing was like all over every headline, every little thing before the episode came up was all about apparently this information leaked and it's been talked about to death. And after the episode comes out, all the comments.
I think is absolutely crazy because I think the whole symbolism of her getting naked in the first place is a part of her character development and kind of a metamorphosis. You know what I mean? But if we're going to talk about controversy, my God, this scene. Why is this not the scene that people are talking about when it comes to controversy?
See, here's the thing, and this to me is kind of let me address it. Let me get my soapbox for a moment.
God!
Climb up. Okay, so again, first of all, the trauma.
I can totally see this being controversial.
I mean, sweet Jesus, Tartakovsky.
Yeah. So of course, the trauma of the priestess here is just it's utterly disturbing. We've seen a lot of horrific things. I gotta tell you, this one genuinely it disturbed me on many levels.
Yeah,
The molten ash burning.
Total mood whiplash.
Yeah. Is the molten ash burning into the skin origin? That's just horrific. Basically explained because collectively all thought she was like one of that's kind of the cool kind of the classic black outfits that like kind of our samurai in our samurai pictures. It's like again I told you the Frank Miller look, which that's the classic look. kind of the full body black suit with the samurai blade. It's the classic look, or the weapons of various. So then we get the again. It's just the thing that really makes this whole scene disturbing. And then it's kind of like it's disturbing, followed by like it's something that's going to be potentially a cheap shot. But thankfully, I'm going to defend it. So I got to tell you though, it's really collectively. I'm just going to try to get this as possible. I love that the nudity is story relevant. Usually, nudity is not in animation. It's usually like a cheap gag. I like that here. What Tarkovsky does, he uses it as Tiki explained. It is for a really creepy, effective moment where she is stripped bare and then she is thrown into this molten ash. Which, first of all, a child in that state is really unnerving and really just something's not right here. And then, in the most vulnerable state a child can be, then thrown into this molten ash here, and the scream and obscure in the face like that. It's just truly horrific. And again, it's effective, and basically it motivates the next scene, which she looks into the reflection, sees her in the black suit, and she can't bear to look at a symbol of Aku anymore. She's now understanding after her encounters with Jack and the people that Jack has inspired, like, okay, I'm on the wrong side here. I got to get rid of this. She scrubs away, and logically, and this is what I'm talking about here. I love story. It's story relevant. That okay, well, logically, if she gets rid of that, she's not going to have anything underneath. And then she addresses that with the Tinkerbell after we'll like to call it.
I just still find it kind of odd that like she's told like Aku and that Samurai Jack is just the one like this horrible person and everything, but then her child she went through this is like she didn't once think like why if this is the way that's good, why am I being thrown into a pile of searing hot ash? Like, she never questioned that.
Oh, I definitely think it's just the context of it all.
It's the scary fact about cults. They do that.
Exactly.
They just make it glaze over like that was part of initiation. That was like, it's like being raised by an abusive parent. That's kind of what it's like.
And really what Ashi's doing right now as she's looking back on it is she's just now trying to, starting to put the pieces together about how horrific all this stuff actually was. Which is, of course, further motivating her to go after Aku and again, that guy's malaise ass.
Yes, and again,
I understand what you guys are saying. I'm just saying it seems kind of strange that even after all that, throughout her entire time, she's never questioned. Then again, she probably never really had a choice about questioning it. It was either like if you question it, you die kind of thing.
And again, the point of like we see this horrific example of it, and we go from like the whole point of like the swim and everything is it's to show the transformation. Now she's shed the dark layers
which
of
is
her.
why I'm really surprised that it's getting so much controversy because like maybe
it's not controversy. It's being talked about way too much for the wrong. They're talking about the wrong thing. They're talking about everyone's
basically horrific dismemberment to shedding into inner beauty.
Okay, maybe this is just me as like the ignorant, privileged, straight white male talking, right? But to me, this seems like absolutely an empowering sequence for Ashi, especially after the context of what we just saw and what that suit represents to her. And,
like I just said, horrific dismemberment changing into your inner beauty.
Yeah, so I don't know. If this is just like an SJW thing that I'm just like totally ignorant about because I'm too privileged, then I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely sorry.
I'm not SJW, but I totally agree with you on that.
Just quite simply, it's basically the takeaway is like, oh, it's like people looking at the logic for the wrong reason. Like, okay, it's a big thing for her. Like, what a beautiful sequence versus, okay, now they have all this light positivity. Now she like the hair is different and everything. Hooray for Ashi. All right.
Yeah.
Like
everyone's like, now look.
Her hair's now to the side. She's no longer wearing her black suit.
Okay, but basically move past this image though, guys.
Yeah, sure. Like move past. Again, it's just everyone's looking towards the.
It's almost as horrific as that wolf image.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Well, that wasn't a smooth transition at all, Bab.
Hey, let me. Can I try to smooth it out?
Sure. Iron out the wrinkles, Bab. By all means.
Unlike Scaramouche.
So again, we go from. So we went from something traumatic to something something beautiful, and now we got Scaramouche.
And Scaramouche is the most beautiful of them all.
Yes, Brad.
Seriously, this guy is just like, oh my god. I've been on an Emperor's New Groove kick lately, but he fits right into like the Emperor's New Groove aesthetic of just like wildly entertaining characters who are just a mile a minute in their jokes and just like so over the top in both their design and their voice. I love this guy.
And if you ever want to see the live action Scaramouche, just looking for Sammy Davis Jr.
Right.
You gotta love Tom
The
Kenny's
most famous footage of Sammy Davis Jr. that I know of is him on the Autopia cars in the Disneyland opening day ceremony.
Oh yeah, there's also him and All in the Family. That's a great famous one.
Look, he's also an I Dream of Genie, I think.
True. There's been a lot of stuff. He was again a
I
big
Dream
guy.
of Genie is a show that I would not mind doing for Christmas in July.
Anyway, so
Throw that out there.
so again, for the minute I saw Scaramouche, was like, hooray!
Yeah,
Hooray! I'm alive, babe.
Still around and still funny.
like I said, gotta love Tom Kenny's work on this guy.
Because again, I was so bummed out that Scaramouche is dead, and I was thinking like it's kind of they're saying okay, we're putting away the kitty stuff, we're going forward. And of course, we just we're getting back to basics and back to basics. We can even have some levity. The fact, hey, it's a robot, so he's fine.
Just makes you wonder how much time has passed since the first episode.
Well, let's see. Night has fallen about episode 4. It's about a couple days.
I'd wager
Not,
maybe like 3 to 4 days.
That sounds better.
But
It's
again,
like still
we don't know if there's a time jump between this episode and last episode.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he
Yeah.
could have. Technically, he could have been like that for about 20 years.
and also how long he was with the wolf.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'm saying like between this and when Ashi's full grown, that's the thing. The Scaramouche battle could have taken place, before while Ashi was a little girl.
That's actually, that's a good point. That's
That's the thing we talked about in the first episode because we don't. They could have.
We
done
kind
that.
of had like that Westworld theory going on of like
Yeah.
the different timelines and whatnot.
It is possible. It's again not that you don't need it to be that way, but the point is like it could be a week or it could be like about 15, 12, not 15, about like 17, 20 years.
Wow! I'm a dog, babe.
So again, this just the premise of this episode. Okay, so Jack has broken Scaramouche's phone, so now Scaramouche has to seek out. I love this. The fact that Scaramouche is not just brought back because the fans love him, which let's face it is, but the fact that he's back and he's carrying a big pivotal plot point. Okay, he's going to inform Aku eventually that Jack has lost his sword. Which once Aku learns that, he'll be motivated. Yes, I can finally take down the samurai
And get out of my blaze.
Yeah, it'll be great. And of course, Scaramouche and hilariously, he's running the various these are like very Tartakovsky-esque games. Like, we've seen this sort of stuff in Dexter's Lab, just classic.
Sure, right.
Our character we're following can't get something accomplished. He tries doing it in a variety of ways. So he can't get on the ship because apparently there's this no body rule. And then Scaramouche tries pulling rank by saying, hey, babe, it's okay. I'm Aku's #1 assassin. And then he has a quick dash of reality.
Who else wants to see Gentle Jim?
I really want to see Gentle Jim.
I just want to be the most vicious killer. That's what I want to see. Gentle Jim.
or he's like, I will hug you and squeeze you.
Call you George, but I'm still gonna kill you.
I'm just saying, like, Gentle Jim is like, I'm going to tell you the creep. Here's the creep. He walks out of the room. Everyone in the room is dead. Like, there's blood spatter on the wall. He just walks, he picks a flower, and he smells it. That's Gentle Jim. He's like, he's a nice guy. The guy takes time to smell the roses,
Jesus, that's terrifying.
He's looking at a sunset or like a butterfly going by.
Man.
He's the guy who embraces the little ladybug like Jack does, but still at the same time he's gonna kill a whole room full of people.
And what about the bomb?
Look, there's a guy's spinal cord just hanging from the ceiling. Oh, look, a butterfly.
Yeah. Like, there's a spinal cord. Oh, look, a flower.
Basically, Scaramouche finds out he's no death blow, babe.
Looks like I've gone down in the world, babe.
I'm not Charles Bronson. I know Charles Bronson's a different name. I'm just saying, like, what?
I'm now a third act in a 2-act show.
Yeah.
Yep. So the number 3 gag is really funny.
And then the whole no dogs. I know how just Basically pointed out like how we saw the sign that didn't clearly have the no dog sign, and
And
then
then the
clearly
no
where
dogs
Rose-
is just like added onto it. Yeah, that's great.
it's like I anticipated everything, so I added this to it.
Okay, so Scaramouche is just hanging out on the ship, just enjoying his day.
Those images priceless. The guys love the fact that he can just hop around. Even though he has these exposed wires, he's fine. He's just living up on this cruise.
Like, even when he gets thrown into the ocean, he's just completely fine. He's like,
I hope he's still okay. By the way, I hope they don't again. We saw he's killed off before. I hope he just keeps enduring.
And a coup. He can never complete a call to a coup.
So he's calling out Ku.
Oh, speaking of which, how fucking awesome was it that we see the the TARDIS box, like the perfect like Superman phone booth on this ship.
Kind of
Who
strange.
the uses a phone booth 50 years in the future?
Like, oh god.
Yeah, we're flying ships, gigantic holograms and everything are available, but still use payphones.
See what we didn't see is that like number 5 on that list was Deadpool, and Deadpool's like actually he's walking across and after Scaramouche has been thrown, he says, "Who uses a phone booth 50 years of cable? Can you believe this?" Anyway, but of course Scaramouche, he's trying to call out Ku, like a lot of ruckus going on, and what does he do? He antagonizes. He rudely asks the
Dogs.
yes, our Cockney dogs
Oh,
here
boy.
to quiet
Oh,
down.
oh, Astro, what did the Jetsons do to you?
We gotta wonder, is this like this is probably after the Jetsons? They've only a Pixar theory for the Jetsons now.
Oh god. Well, I mean, there is kind of a Pixar theory for the Jetsons, which is that the Jetsons and the Flintstones take place in the same universe at the same time, and the Flintstones is just post-apocalyptic.
Well, I mean, the actual thing is that technically the Flintstones and the Jetsons do exist in the same universe, but the Jetsons is just like directly the future. That's kind of what they
Well,
actually,
yeah, I know, but the Pixar theory version of that is the. But, anyways, yeah, this is great. I'm reminded of the great Elroy Jetson gag in early like Good Family Guy, where Elroy Jetson's just a drunk at the bar, like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Elroy Jetson. I had a buddy named Astro. I miss Astro. Astro joined a gang of Cockney dogs, and now he's gone. I'm Elroy Jetson." And now Family Guy and Samurai Jack are in the same continuity. You're welcome.
God
Yay.
bless Hanna-Barbera. So,
Marlon did used to work for Hanna-Barbera, so
yes.
That's true. He did. Yes.
So let's speak to. There's another one of those really talked about moments from the episode. And again, I think some of these moments are talked about for the wrong reasons. Like again, the thing with Ashi, and then we have the Scaramouche gag.
Okay. What Scaramouche gag in particular?
You know, the head gag. The head gag.
Oh, okay.
because that really.
I mean, it didn't really land that well for me, but I was.
It was just like this show's like, oh hey, we can say this now. Like
Yeah, that's
So
honestly kind of what bothered me about it. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't like, oh, they said the word, they said it, I'm offended. I wasn't like that. I was just like, well, that's just not really funny. It's
It's like yes, we get it. It's like I was even thinking. I mean, because I have someone have a dirty mind myself. I like. I
As a
think
matter of fact, I think it'd be funnier if the guy just walked away and Scaramouche was just, instead of like blatantly pointing out, just like, yeah, that guy kind of had a funny looking face.
or even better, said like dickhead.
Right, that would be a good line. Yes.
But that, I mean, I personally find dickhead funnier. They're like, hey, that guy's head looks like a penis.
No, I mean, and I do like. I think that's probably like the least well done gag in the episode. I'll agree to that extent. I think it kind of flopped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the problem with the joke itself because this show can get away with that. But then now it's just like okay, why was that? Why is that funny? Like, yeah, he has a weird shaped head.
Because
so.
we have a TVMA brain, babe, but we can say penis.
See, here's what bugs me about it. And this is
Okay.
the thing for the episode. Basically, my two gripes, that just kind of encompassing gripes of the episode. Again, I mentioned the structure, and the other thing is kind of the I'm going to get the profanity in the language here. I'm not just saying like, it's all bad. I'm saying here's what it breaks down for me. Said it feels forced, unlike and unlike Samurai Jack, the way it's used here. Just basically, the violence is a-okay because that's just an extrapolation of Samurai Jack and addressing kind of the realities if you kill a human or what can happen to, which we didn't get because of the again, it wasn't like it was they went around with the other forms of violence, like through the oil and all sorts of robot 8 Ways to Sunday. So I mean that, and again, the nudity was story related, so that's manageable. Now again, that's kind of accentuating the story. Again, those two again were kind of fitting storytelling. However, the language seems to be the same issue that the DC original animated films suffer, especially in the very beginning. They were based on it's called the PG-13 problem, where they were trying to be edgy and they're trying to make it like, hey, we can get away with this now. It just feels really forced and unlike the show.
I mean, heck, earlier just in this episode did make it feel natural, like the word, like the rave song had the word hell in it, and even the samurai was like, shut the damn door, like I said, those seem more like a natural way to curse. Like basically, okay, that actually works with this show.
I agree with you about the rave. I don't know. I still don't know about. That might be a taste thing for me about the.
It's definitely a taste thing for you because I think the Samurai would totally be the type of crotchety character to curse.
That ain't true. I'm just saying compared to what he was. That's why I was just kind of like, okay, it's a little different.
50 years, Dragon. 50 years can add some cynicism to you.
Sure. I understand. It feels like,
I mean, don't get me. I'm just saying it feels more natural than like, hey, look at that guy's head shaped like him. Yeah, you know.
It feels really on the nose, and like we're trying to be edgier again. Like we couldn't just leave it funny. Look.
I mean,
we're on Adult Swim, babe. We might as well reference dirty jokes.
I mean, hey, look at the episode like where they're in the belly of the beast. The belly of the beast. I mean, that episode had like some natural flowing humor. I mean,
you're right.
I mean, this was like, hey, we can say this now, so let's try. Like, I mean, that would even feel out of place in Rick and Morty almost.
Yeah, I don't know about Rick and Morty. I can't wait to talk about Rick and Morty, but that's not the time or place.
Okay, maybe not Rick and Morty, but it just doesn't seem like it even works here.
Yeah, well, the point is like some of it's taste, some of it's like it just doesn't plain work. So I think we can kind of agree.
Okay.
Agree on that front.
So let's but as much as we can agree on the weaknesses, I think we can also agree on a big strength of the episode, which is the ending. Oh my god, it's so emotional.
Oh yeah. So boy, oh boy, this is the kind of the seppuku, kind of like the layman Harry here, but it's really
also,
seppuku.
guys. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't put in some bragging rights here for calling that.
You gotta remind what you called T, because I keep forgetting what exactly you called.
I'm pretty sure that I was. I think you guys agreed with me definitely when I brought up this notion. But I think as soon as the Horseman showed up, I called that the Horseman the whole time has been sort of the personification of Jack's want and desire to kill himself. And I very much think that through what we got in this episode, very much seems to be that's what the case is, that this guy is some sort of like metaphorical, like, embodiment of suicide.
Honestly, I think kind of yes, T. I think do you think they're a little too vague with the Omen character with this or kind of our ghostly samurai character? Here's the thing: he's physically fighting Ashi. He's a ghost, so I mean he does exist. It's not in Jack's head. But I kind of read him as the boil him down. He's like a samurai Grim Reaper. That's essentially what this guy is. He's a samurai Grim Reaper who goes after samurais who've lost their purpose or have abandoned hope. As in they're at the end of the line. Again, it's like they're bringing dishonor among themselves. At least they're convinced. It's like feeding. I don't know. It's kind of a little.
I mean, the previous episodes always did kind of imply it was just kind of in Jack's head because like sometimes like he ran toward them, it was no longer there, but then it was like, but then it says like, oh, Ashi can see it too.
And also very importantly, we have the only thing this guy talks about is stuff that Ashi knows would be on Jack's mind. So, well, I'm thinking this is Dragon, and granted, I think the great thing about the scene, of course, is the fact that it's all subjective and whatnot, but subjectivity, Steven, yay. But I think the great thing about the scene is I could personally read it as Jack is telling all this to her, and Jack's imagining like the personification of the Horseman sort of saying this, and And when the Horseman confronts Ashi, I think that is genuinely Jack confronting Ashi. I think it's
that implies that Jack's like physically attacking her in this scene.
And I don't necessarily think that that's completely off the reservation for the mental state of his character. This is a guy that just wants to go and die. This is a guy that's given up all hope.
Yeah, but would you willingly go with him after doing that?
Exactly, that's what I'm getting at. Unless they address in the next episode where it's like she like recaps, like she sees basically kind of pull a Bates Motel where we see he was just like doing it all himself with no one there. Well,
Me, how I read that is I read Ashi as just like, since she has transformed herself from a place of course, directly attacking Jack and then going on this journey. And now Jack's directly attacking her for reasons that she doesn't know about, for reasons that she's ignorant to, just like Jack was ignorant to the reasons why she was doing what she's doing early on. So I think the two are going to meet a consensus there. I think they're going to meet in the middle. And I definitely think they're just going to acknowledge that both of them have been through some dark crap, but both of them, they kind of need each other as this moral support and also just to have as a very valuable ally going forward.
Yeah. Again, I think it's like it's the scene, the way it's done. It just seems like it's too much of a fight. But it's.
I get the ally thing. I still don't see the whole Samurai Jack's really attacking her thing.
I think it's too hard to buy. Just like that, she'd still be.
Considering he defends her from it being the main reason.
He's defending her from himself.
But I just don't see that, like, if they don't address that, Teague, and that's what kind of makes me think it's not. We don't see any one shot of, like, him going up against thin air, or like him just like this thing about it's.
Because we actually see it's physically there, like she can see it.
I like that idea, Tiki. That's a great idea, but it just it needs too much damage and destruction in the fight.
I just don't think his psyche entered her mind.
No, I'm not saying his psyche entered her mind. I don't think she can see any of this Horseman stuff. I think what we're seeing is the perspective that Jack is seeing on it.
She reacted to seeing the Horseman like walk towards Jack.
I mean, she's talked to by the Omen, so I mean, it's like it's interacting with her.
Yeah, but that could be Jack talking to her.
Jack was putting a sword, prepared to put a sword in his stomach.
It could be like Mr. Robot.
Let's not get crazy. I see your point. It's a little vague. We'll have confirmation next episode if there's anything there.
I'm just being like super defensive, guys. It's totally fine. I see what you're saying.
Let me say this again. What I do like, it's kind of to me, it seems to be this interesting nexus between supernatural and psychological. Because again, it seems like a Grim Reaper for a samurai, where he sent every time Jack in the series has felt doubt or like he's felt like he's dishonoring his mission, that's when this guy shows up in Jack's mental state, like he's nearing the end of the line. When he started thinking about suicide with his id, that's when this guy appears on the outside of the little dome thing they're hiding in.
Right.
When he's freaking out during the fight, where he's thinking like, why am I doing this? Like all the people I've let down shows up. So again, it's kind of we've been building this altercation here, and again, I think it's kind of a battle for Jack's soul. It's a really tense sequence, It's like Ashi kind of going up against this thing, and like I just love that Ashi, she's been, as she's learned, and now she's been kind of rooting for Jack. Now she's taking what she's learned. She's defending the man that she's learned about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what really makes it work for me.
No longer fighting for Aku, now fighting for Jack, and quite literally fighting for Jack.
Right.
So that Jack at his most vulnerable, like lowest point, and she brings him out of it.
Yeah, that's what really makes it work for me on a character point of view. Anyways, I don't have that much to say about it, guys. Should we move on to Spec?
Well, in the end, Jack found this last thing I'm going to say about
it.
In the end, Jack found his purpose again, and now he's like, and finding his purpose now, like, because Jack was kind of meandering around. The previous episode, he addressed, like, okay, well, there's no hope against Stop Naku, and now kind of Ashi has, again, kind of gotten Jack out of the dumps. I think by the end of this episode, Jack is finally, he's back to his old self from Samurai Jack. He's gotten past these suicidal thoughts. I think he's kind of, bear in mind, after he gets sort of be fully back. But you know what I mean? He now knows, okay, I got to stop Aku, and first step to do that, find the sword.
I need to find my sword.
Yes.
All right. So Spec then?
Right. Well, promo is Jack. It seems to be the premise of the next episode. Jack is meditating to find the location of his sword. He's kind of looking deep to remember where it is, I guess. It's up to Ashi to protect his physical body from an army. And then we have the "What's it to you" gag.
Which again,
where do you think you were going?
All the villains are starting to become Cockney.
Yep. I'll have to kill the samurai. What's it to you?
What's it to you? We're about to have a cup of tea with Mary Poppins.
So broadly, here's how I think the rest of the episodes are going to play, and just like basically where we're getting at in the next episode. So I think Jack's going to get the location by the end of next episode. I think the end of the next episode is going to be, while she's battling the army, he's going to find out where the sword is. Episode 8 is going to be retrieval of the sword. Episode 9 will be the portal. That's when we're going to get the Guardian stuff kind of paid off. That's
I also feel like episode 9, there's going to be some sort of splintering between Jack and Ashi some way. There's going to be some sort of dramatic low of lows in episode 9 somehow.
Possibly.
I don't know how. I just, just in terms of dramatic storytelling, something's going to have to happen between these two.
It could even
Well,
happen
I think
it could even happen in 8, and episode 9 focuses on them recovering from it in a way.
Sure. Yeah. It's just the low of lows within the story is coming up.
Well, I think the big team up we're looking for here is when the priestess meets Aku. That's going to be the really that could cause a rift or something.
Yes, that, and also I can't wait to see the Scotsman reunite with Jack. That's going to be epic.
I think, of course, by 10.
I'm my old self again.
I think 10 we're building to, Jack versus Aku final. Like, these two won't have a scene together until the last episode.
I agree with that, yeah.
So then, of course, lead us to our end.
Hopefully, Aku at that point is out of his malaise.
I think by I'm betting you this. I'm betting you the minute Jack gets a sword, Aku's going to be misinformed by Scaramouche. Jack doesn't have a sword, baby.
Oh my god!
Which
that's
again
great.
will
That's
motivate.
Great. That's great.
Which
yes,
will motivate
yes.
Aku, which will get him. Basically, Aku will be in for a huge shock when he learns. Like,
I love that.
No, the samurai has a sword.
I thought you told me he didn't have the sword. You're useless.
Oh, what
Okay.
if this happens? Let me
Dragon,
throw this
I
at
just
you.
want to put a pin on that because that is a wonderful idea.
So that's actually what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's gonna tell Aku, like, oh, he doesn't have the sword. He has the sword.
Imagine this. I'm gonna lay this out for you. What if this happens? So I'm betting you that the sword misinformation is definitely gonna happen. Imagine if this happens. So Aku, maybe episode 9 instead of 10. But the point is, whenever Jack and Aku re-meet, again, Aku's all confident. He's like he's out of his malaise, and he's all super confident. He's like, I'm going to kill. He's like super happy at the beginning. I'm going to kill the samurai.
He's like a school kid on Christmas.
Exactly. He's like a little schoolboy in love. And anyway, so the point is he goes up against Jack, and then, of course, he's in it was be a fun parallel from the very beginning of the show where Aku overconfident. That was his defeat. So what Aku, yet again, is overconfident. He's gotten out of his malaise and it's this therapy and everything, and now he's going after Jack. And then he's almost defeated by Jack, and then the priestess swoops in, saves his life, and that kind of builds the climax there. Maybe Ashi dies in battle or something.
Oh
Was it
yeah,
the
I could definitely see Ashi dying for sure. I
Either
think
the
that's
low
very much
points-
on the table.
Let's just say whatever happens, the priestess saving Aku would lead to something bad happening between Jack and Ashi, or Ashi meeting her demise.
Sure.
And then at that point, he'd probably kill the priestess.
Oh yeah, that'd be a great one too. Yeah, but again,
He's
so
like, he's like, who are you, crazy lady?
but still, just kind of like Aku meeting with the priestess would be kind of like a cool. Like she saved his life, and now it's like now they're kind of she saved her god. Now she's ceasing to believe in him.
Right. Any other bits of spec?
What do you think about this? Is kind of going around. I'm just curious about this myself. What do you guys think about Jack and Ashi getting into a relationship? You want to stick with friendship, or you think they can get to the next level?
Personally, I'd much rather stick to a friendship. Personally,
Honestly, I'm kind of good either way. I mean, I know it's
I mean, I can see it going both ways. I mean,
I just think what Jack means to Ashi is definitely like it's so far removed from just like the sexual attraction of it. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing
the thing
sexual
about it-
about it.
well,
let's face it, Ashi's no slouch in the looks department. She's pretty good looking.
No,
No,
she's-
I'm just saying how she's drawn to Jack. There's nothing sexual about that. It's all very much like, if anything, Jack's kind of a father figure to her in a way.
That's kind of the weird divide because, yeah, you're right. And also, we have kind of the weird age thing. But
Yeah,
it's
I gotta
it's-
say, guys, I would not be on board with Ashi and Jack
but
hooking.
technically, he has not aged. Remember?
Yeah,
That's
but
that-
just
that's
a
what I'm
weird
coming-
loophole, though.
Here's the thing. Okay, here's what I'm coming down. Yeah, you're right. It is a weird. it is a weird loophole, but at the same time, it is kind of a loophole. That they're relatively relatively the same age. Technically, he's 50 years older, but he looks and has not aged, so it's technically okay by the books.
He's 50 years older.
I'm saying he's been around 50 years. That means he's not aged 50
years older.
But again, that's not weird. He's not older, but he's been around for 50 years.
I mean, Dicky, he's not older. Even in the intro, he says, "I do not age."
Oh,
that's the weird
you
thing.
guys are all pervs. I want nothing.
Come out! Hey, don't disparage me.
I want nothing to do with this Ashi hooking up with her father figure nonsense.
Okay, first of all, let me establish this, Mister. They have no chance. I'm saying either way. Okay, I'm just. Look,
either way. I mean, I could see benefits of going just a friendship route, or I mean, it doesn't have to be, or there's benefits of going both ways. I mean,
same thing. The guy saved her life 1 billion times. She's looked up to him again, kind of changed her life profoundly. There's enough for an attraction there. Don't say there's no.
I personally don't think it'd be out of the realm of I don't think it would ruin her character or be out of the realm of her possible character arc.
All right.
Plus, I mean, Jack. Again, we want something nice to happen to Jack. I mean, it's. Jack has been alone all these years. I'm not taking it to that level.
This is the biggest trap that I've stepped in since I told you guys that I didn't like Kylo Ren. I swear, you guys just ganged up on me.
I mean, it does make different. We see your point of view here. We're just
addressing the possibility of it. It's like it wouldn't be the end of the world, but then
you're wrong in the fact that he ages. I mean, he's not 50 years older because he typically doesn't age. He probably mentally he's older, but not physically.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I could see where they could.
But calling us pervs was kind of out of the line.
No, I know that was a low blow. I apologize.
All right, so the point is, it's still kind of divisive among people, the relationship, or yay or nay.
But for me, I wouldn't be too upset or be too upset either way. I mean, both sides I could see because for all we know, there could be no happy ending to this series whatsoever.
Exactly, I'm saying that's the thing. I'm always in this weird divide because it could end up like the Carrie Kelly thing with her, where she's kind of the protege of Jack, where she's learned a great deal from. It's kind of in between, It could be the Carrie Kelly red, or it could be something else, Anyway, so I guess final thoughts then?
Final thoughts, yeah. I think I probably got the most out of this episode just because of the position I'm in as a fan. But having said that, I still think it's probably it's definitely the most repetitive of the episodes we've gotten so far, but it was a nice stepping stone in the right direction. A lot of good character development on Ashi's part. Good to see Ashi and Jack back together. Can't wait to see what develops of that. And of course, you gotta love Scaramouche. Just Scaramouche anytime that guy's on screen. It's just
oh yeah, you love me, babe.
I'll be disappointed if they get rid of him because he fell in the water.
I would be too, Dragon. I would be too. Okay, but yeah, that's all I got. Just a very solid episode. Doesn't quite reach the heights of some of the other ones, but still very good.
Yeah, I mean, the action was. I mean, it was more of the storytelling. Even the storytelling, it did reach a few highs in this, but even the storytelling didn't reach the highs of some of the previous one. Not even through visual storytelling, in a way. The humor was though there, some of it did feel more forced than the others. I mean, perfect example of good flowing natural humor was in the episode where they're in the belly of the beast.
Sure.
And like I said, I just think this series, this episode works better. The bookends of this episode, the beginning and the end, were both fantastic, especially the confrontation with Jack's inner demons. Or outer demons, whatever we decide to...
The Omen guy.
The Omen guy, yeah, the Omen. Well, whatever it is, it did. Definitely, the climax definitely, for me, more than made up for some of the episode's shortcomings.
Yeah. All right, guys. So...
Hey.
I'm sorry, Dragon. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, this one, I'll be honest. Out of the six, the X-Eyes and everything, this is the sixth episode, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Making sure. I just want to make absolute certain, because all these, it's technically 90-something anyway. This one out of the six, it's low on the tone pole. It's not my favorite. I think it's the weakest of season 5, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any stretch. I'm just saying it's still good. It's a little flawed for me compared to the other ones, which I think are kind of perfect and impossible to rank almost. I think they're all really. I think the other ones are much stronger, They're really good. This one again, I just structural problems and things here and there, but again, it's on the whole. I love the story that's being told here. I love Ashi as a character, seeing her seeing her development. I think this episode's for diehard Samurai Jack fans. I think it serves them well because, again, seeing kind of the old. It's continuing that thing where we're becoming more and more like a Samurai Jack episode in the classic series, and we're kind of paying homage that we're still going forward in the narrative, which is really nice. I know we kind of got on some soapboxes here today. I hope people just kind of don't like say, "Oh, they're talking about other stuff," so let's kind of like click off. So I folks, just hear us out. These are things that are talked about. They're edgy, but I think it's a point. There's a point in talking about it because I think with the fans, basically with the tributes to the fans in this episode, with the old kind of fan favorites showing up, that borders on this, fan service in a good way versus fan service in a bad way. Fan service in a good way, again, characters come back and kind of like, okay, that's fun stuff to see. And this episode, I think, good in a good way, avoids bad fan service. I think the reception might, border on bad fan service. Again, people taking away the wrong things from certain scenes, like Ashi's kind of transformation. But again, some people have to fixate, some people don't. That's kind of where it boils down. You can't control. But again, I think Tarkovsky made the smart story choice. I'm like, okay, we're transforming it into something beautiful. Again, on the whole, again, not the best out of the 6, but it's still a really a nice chapter along our journey. It really still a real good one. Still pretty solid. And was really cool.
All right, babe. Well, thanks for watching, certainly. And Jacob, you and I, we really need to do the last 4 episodes of Milo Murphy. I've been sick, but I promise you we'll get those cracked out in the next couple days. Dragon, I assume you're still going to be joining us for Tangled, or at least when you can.
Most indubitably,
babe. All right. And then we've got stuff like Rick and Morty and DuckTales coming up in the future, all kinds of different lineups on Tiki's universe. It's crazy. It's sensational, babe. All right, folks. So thanks for watching. And in the meantime, don't forget to come back next week for even more
Samurai Jack, babe. What Jack?
He's got to get back.
Back to the past.
Samurai Jack.
Jack. Do you know who I am? I'm Elroy Jetson.